I want to do a podcast about films.
As a friend, I won't stand in your way.
No, with you, you fool.
Oh, so you mean you want us to do a podcast about films?
Yes.
Well, why didn't you say that?
I did. I am.
Well, you can't say films. You need to say movies. It's a more broadly recognised term.
Yeah, don't worry about that now. Are you interested?
We can't just talk about films that we like. That would be boring.
Well, okay. How about films we don't like?
That is even more boring.
How about this? Films we disagree on.
Okay, intriguing. So one of us likes it, the other one doesn't, and we discuss our opinions on that film?
I think you mean movie.
Yeah, don't worry about that now.
But yeah, that's the gist of it.
Okay, I'm in.
Great.
It could still be boring, though.
You're boring.
Well, I don't see how that's relevant.
Should we do one now? Hello and welcome to Movie the Needle, a podcast where two complete amateurs haphazardly dissect a film that one of us likes and one, well, not so much. My name's Simon and I'm joined by my good friend Carl, and we'll be explaining our opposing viewpoints and seeing whether we can movie the needle for one another. This week we are discussing Hayao Miyazaki's 2001 Japanese animated fantasy, Spirited Away. Welcome, Carl.
Hello.
I don't know why I'm saying welcome. It's your podcast as well, but hello.
You are, I guess, arbitrarily the host, right?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's, I think you, yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Okay.
It's my podcast. And here I'm joined by my guest, Carl.
Yeah.
What's new? What have you been doing?
Watching a lot of films, first and foremost.
Excellent.
That's not the most fun thing that's happened to me this weekend. We'll get to that. But yeah, I managed to watch on Saturday night 3 films.
Nice.
One of which was this.
It's an early start or a late finish?
A very late finish, because I wasn't intending to watch 3 films, which brought its own problems with sleep and being hungover the next day as well.
Yeah, films do that to you. Really give you that hangover.
Yeah, it was the sleep that did it.
Yeah.
The films that did it, yeah. So the first one, I was going to watch this one first, and instead I ended up watching After Sun, which is 2023, Paul Mescal. It's on iPlayer at the moment.
Right, I wasn't not familiar with it, but it's a nice 90-minute film, so I'm going to go for it. Because they are rare.
It's got a lot of hallmarks you'd like, I think. Oscar nominated, of course, as well.
Excellent.
Paul Mescal lost out on the Best Actor win to Brendan Fraser for The Whale. And having seen The Whale, let me tell you what a fucking joke that is.
I did quite like. Maybe The Whale's going to be one we talk about, actually, because I quite like The Whale.
Listen, you're going to watch After Sun, and you're going to go, oh yeah, this is what acting looks like. Not some schmaltzy Hollywood redemption story.
Yeah, but how many pounds of prosthetics was...
Well, exactly. Yeah. No, so that was a 5-star for me. Brilliant film, and I do think you'd really like it.
A rare 5-star.
Pretty rare.
Didn't like it, though.
No, I liked it, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, 5-star you liked it as well.
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah. And then I watched this.
Being Spirited Away.
Yep. And then, because you messaged me going, what the fuck have I just seen? Referring to the film you watched on Saturday.
Wait, what was that? Which one was that?
Oh, have you watched
on Saturday? Yeah, I've watched a few this week. Roadhouse?
Yes.
Oh.
I thought, go on then, I'll flick it on. So I ended up watching Roadhouse.
That was the last one you watched?
Yeah.
How many beers in?
Enough.
You might have enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't go that far. I would not go that far, no.
So where are you sitting on Roadhouse then?
Oh,
is this unlikely to be one we talk about on this pod, right?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is an absolutely ridiculous film.
What the hell is Conor McGregor doing in a movie?
Well, this is the thing. Like, even if you think, well, this is nowhere near as good as the original, you might be able to enjoy it because it's a bit different and maybe they're going for something a bit more fun or whatever. Yeah. But he's not just, like, bad. He's like, he just sours absolutely. He's awful.
I was actually quite enjoying it before he came on screen, and then I was just angry for the rest of it, and I just wanted it to end.
Yeah,
it left a horrible taste in my mouth afterwards.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it's not going to make Jake Gyllenhaal's list of his proudest work ever anyway. I'm sure of that.
No.
But he must look
I like
at
a
it.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
He must look at it now.
I still
and
call him
think,
Gyllenhaal though, because Gyllenhaal just sounds stupid. But
well, it's not even that, is it? It's like Swedish or something, so it'd be like
Gyllenhaal.
or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Add Sweden to the list.
Yes. Getting through. So yeah, no, he just murders that film in cold blood, McGregor.
I think I wrote in my Letterboxd review that I wrote immediately afterwards. I was just like, if I see Tyson Fury in a movie, I'm just going to stop watching films.
Do you know that?
Just out of spite.
Tyson Fury cannot be that bad. He couldn't be that bad.
Sorry, what evidence are you basing this on?
I just can't. I can't imagine. Well, it's difficult to imagine anyone being that bad. Look, I take your point. If someone's going to manage it, it might be someone like Tyson Fury. But I mean, I've not read loads because it doesn't warrant it.
No.
But I would imagine that even the most diehard of Conor McGregor fans are struggling with what he put in that film.
I don't know. It was very odd, and it was like, did UFC? They must have like bankrolled that film.
Yeah,
they must have to put him in, right? But then that just seemed really odd that they would. Spoilers, by the way, everyone. But you know, there's essentially a scene where one UFC fighter kills another one, so you wouldn't think that they would want that on their. Put out there. So it's very odd. It was. As I say, I was genuinely enjoying it as it started off. I was like, "This is fun." Yeah, Gyllenhaal's kind of
like you say, the first third of it, is kind of fun, and it looks great.
Yeah, I was like, I'd live on the Keys. That looks fun.
I say it looks great. The Keys looks great.
Yeah.
The CGI fight sequences are fucking awful.
But anyway, we're not going to talk about this film much more because
I did think that I can pluck a silver lining out of Roadhouse, though.
Okay.
Well, I figured that if I can start throwing McGregor's lines out at you, it might annoy you all over again.
Right.
I'll have to pick the right time to do it, and remember them because they're not very memorable.
You could also just like say something in a shit accent and just see
with some weird like pointed phrasing. So it's that bit where he says a line, and then it's like he's maybe they did it ADR because it's like he's got suddenly in a completely different movie when he goes. From your father, or whatever, and it's like, where's that come from? He's not.
It's so odd.
He wasn't.
Just the way he walks, just the way he walks, it made me angry.
It's like,
walking like he's got balls, literally like bowling balls. Like he couldn't.
He needs a good massage. He's got frozen shoulders.
Oh, he needs a fucking bullet.
My words.
It really upset me, that film.
Oh dear. Well, that might be the thing.
Genuinely
that
ruined my Saturday night.
Yeah. No, bad anyway. Bad film.
Bad. Do not watch.
I didn't rate it. I wasn't as angry as you were, though. I just thought it was.
A lot of people really quite enjoyed it, though.
No, they're lying.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's people for you. What else have you been seeing? Anything else?
No, I haven't been seeing anything else.
So I've had a mixed bag. So obviously Roadhouse, the low point. A couple of others that not great either. So Manodrome.
Oh yeah.
With the old Jesse Eisenberg. Or how do you describe him in a previous pod?
The dickhead Michael Cera.
Yeah.
Or the arsehole Michael Cera.
This will very much support your previous view.
Yeah.
So that not good either. Fast Charlie.
Oh yeah, the Brosnan one.
Brosnan. Yeah. Again,
which I put on my list because I think I have a positive recommendation for that from somewhere else. And you reminded me of it. I thought, well, I'll have a look. We'll see. Potential pod fodder.
Yeah, another one where I was like, oh, this is quite enjoyable. And then just a few moments of it just completely turned me off.
Was Pierce Brosnan doing that thing again where his only acting chops are pretending to be choked?
Pretending to be choked?
Yeah, like every film he's in,
like
he has a scene where he's like choking, and then he's like, when he's got engage Brosnan's acting. It's like that's when he brings it to town.
When he's choking?
Yeah. And like every film, I swear. Now, look out for it next time.
I will. This is going to be like Bill Nye's hands all over. I won't be able to unsee
it. have you? Right, so I tell a lie when I say that I've only watched those 3 films. I've watched another 3 films this week, all Bill Nye films.
So you forgot 3 films and all of them were Bill Nye films. You've watched a lot this week.
And he holds a phone, which this is great pod content, by the way. He holds a phone like that.
With 2 fingers.
So he just has to push
his
his 2 fingers out against his face.
Yeah. Because of his messed up
hands. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so you probably ruined every film that he's in because all I'll be able to look at is his whole hands. It's like, what about what's going on this? And then, but I did the highlight of the week was June Part 2, which I know you've not seen.
No, I've not seen the first. No, yeah.
But that was very good.
I said
very
I've seen the first. It's the remakes, aren't they? So I've not seen the originals either.
I don't think you have to see the original, but yeah, I've not seen the original.
The old Dune 2, though, because I'm through the various podcasts and whatnot that I've been listening to, getting a fairly mixed review compared to the first one.
I mean,
no issues for you?
No, I enjoyed it very much.
Lapped it up like a good little boy.
Oh, yeah. I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved the first one, how slow it was and everything. I loved this one, how unslow it was.
No really consistency here.
Really sitting with the inconsistent reviewer that I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else has been going on?
Right, so the most fun thing that happened to me this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I lost an hour on TikTok.
What are you, 5?
To some sort of like, I don't know if you would call it meta pedantry almost, or something.
I mean, I'm in. What is it?
Yeah, so there's a guy I follow on there. He puts out some quite interesting content. I think he's like a budding comedian or something. And he said, he did this video, and he said, I posted something the other day that got me thinking about how weird it is that where common phrases get changed over time.
Right.
And it completely flips their meaning around.
Okay.
Right? So he said, like, the customer's always right. What a bizarre way that, what a bizarre way to run a business that is. Like, the customer's not always right. Except for, he goes on to say, the full saying is, the customer is always right in matters of taste. As if to say, well, when it's in matters of taste, of course they're right. We want to pander to their tastes, but when it becomes to something a bit more objective, no, they're not always right. That's silly.
Okay, right. Yeah.
And then he said, invited other people to go, what are some of the phrases that have had their meaning flipped around? Now, as you might imagine, this is right in my wheelhouse, this sort of thing.
Yeah, pedantry.
Well,
overanalyzing.
No, I'm like just interested in the way where like words and phrases come from and how they evolve. Look, if I can correct a couple of people along the way, all
the better.
Everybody's happy,
except the person you're being corrected. Yeah.
And let me tell you, people do not like being wrong. But we'll get to that.
Or I think it's more people doing like being told they're wrong rather than being wrong necessarily either. But anyway, go on.
Well, that's a funny thing though, isn't it? Because you would think in a thread where the guy is essentially inviting pedants to go, show me your wares, they would be the sort of people who would appreciate, actually, did you know it's actually this? And, to further their understanding. Not the case. So top of the comments, somebody had put, jack of all trades, a master of none. Mm-hmm. Do you know the full phrase?
I do not.
So this guy puts, jack of all trades, master of none is actually, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
Oh, right.
Which actually would flip that round.
To
say, well, jack of all trades is actually a good thing. I would say you don't need that, because in modern parlance, we use jack of all trades just on its own to mean a good thing anyway.
Yeah.
We don't, because he's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, he can do anything. Turn his hand to anything.
Yeah, he could do anything. So, even then...
Or her hand.
Another thread of pedantry there to dig into that. Anyway, so I remember seeing something a while ago, similar sort of thing, I guess, where there was an even further addition to that, which flips it round again. Mm-hmm. So I thought, this is my in. I can go research this. And I can come back to this guy, and we're 3 layers deep at this point. I can go, actually, there's another element of this which flips. Right. Anyway, I couldn't find that, but what I did find is a load of bollocks. The original phrase is jack of all trades, a master of none, and then some 300 years later, we find in records a documented variation where somebody's added it in. Right. So now I get to go back on and go, I was looking this up. That's not true. And can I say there's a great website called phrasefinder.com which does just catalogues all of these, all the sources and everything. It's brilliant. Lost a lot of time on there on Saturday. So I go back on. No, that's not actually true. Came from here. Said by this guy. The first instance of what you're saying comes 300 years later. That guy didn't respond, but it didn't matter because I had something else to go at. Somebody else has come on and put like another phrase on, and I can't even remember the phrase, right? But like they're coming in thick and fast, and I can't get to these quick enough. I go, all right, quick, check that one. And I'm looking at that. No, that's not true either. That's not true either. So I go back. No, I'm afraid it is just the normal phrase that everybody thinks it is. That little addition appears later. There's much more modern. Jack of all trades cropped up a lot, and there was this one girl in particular that took umbrage with my corrections. Her handle was like, I don't care, whatever. Let me tell you, she did care. She did care quite a lot. And she says, well, I looked it up, and actually, Jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than master of all, you'll find in 1390, so your Google must be broken. So I'm like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't fit. All right, I go back and Google it, 1390, and I find this Middle English poem. It calls it a poem, 33,000 words. I thought, I'm not fucking reading all that, but I'll search it, right?
33,000 word poem?
Yeah. Like
Did it rhyme?
47. Anyway, she didn't read it either, because the bit in question is 1390 was the origin of the term Jack and what that meant. Fuck all to do with the phrase Jack of all spades, master of none.
Jack of all spades?
Jack of all spades, Jack of all trades. So I get to go back to her and say, like, yeah, well, no, that's actually the term. You've convinced yourself. You're not worth speaking to. I was like, ooh.
So, in summary, next time you tell me you've not had time to edit an episode, I can tell you to fuck off and stop looking at TikTok for so long.
And I do just want to call out, because not everybody was like that. A guy called SiMTN, another Simon, a more considerate Simon, a better Simon.
There are the many better Simons out there.
Who, when corrected, responded with, that's interesting, and a high five emoji. So, well done, Simon. It's all about the knowledge. But the lesson is...
We do shout-outs now.
Yeah. to a non-listener on a completely unrelated... So the lesson is, and I went through a lot of these, and they were all bollocks. The lesson is, if somebody ever says, did you know this phrase is actually... It's a fairly safe bet that without you having to do any research, you could just go, no, it isn't.
Which is perfect for me, because I won't do the research, and I will just take the hot take, so that's good.
The law of averages is on your side.
Awesome. Right. Good lesson.
So, yeah. Fun. I had a lot of fun with that.
Wow, that was quite the diversion to Dictionary Corner.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even call it pedantry, really, because it was entirely warranted in that it was invited, right? Pedantry is when you're, like, focusing on something insignificant to be annoying and all the rest of it. But
sure. You're right. That was entirely... needed and necessary.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I think that's me. We've had a...
Excellent. So this brings
we've had a busy old week. Oh, I should mention the 3 films I've watched with Bill Nighy, actually. So they are the Johnny Worricker trilogy, which I think is a set of novels where he plays like this intelligence operative, this MI5 operative.
Okay.
They were all TV movies. They're quite good. They're quite laid back. Spy thrillers, again in your wheelhouse, about an hour and a half.
Excellent.
Brilliant cast. You've got like Helena Bonham Carter, Winona Ryder, Christopher Walken shows up, Ralph Fiennes, Michael Gambon. Pretty packed cast. What's the Scottish guy's name in?
Go on.
Oh, what did we just watch? You got me to watch that comedy farce thing. With Michael McFadden in.
Funeral. Death at a Funeral.
Ewan Bremner, because he's in Death at a Funeral as well. Yeah, Ewan Bremner's in it.
You didn't tell me what you thought of Death at a Funeral.
It was all right.
Yeah, fair enough.
2.5 stars I gave it. It was fine.
It's not bad for one of my recommendations, to be fair. Yeah,
that's all right.
I'll take that.
So yeah, I watched those. I think you might like those as well. So if you ever in the mood for something a bit more low key, not too much thinking, but enough.
Tom Hiddleston in it.
No, God, no.
Just a bit more low-key. So
for fuck's sake.
Right, so we get to the favourite part of the podcast, which is where you go wrist deep, elbow deep into your sack and get us what we're going to be drinking
To be honest, I really look forward to the day when this podcast evolves into us trying to pair movies with beers.
Yeah.
And not the other way around.
Well,
Drinky the Beardle or something like that. Yeah, like we're going to
start with a beer and find a movie.
Can we find a movie to fit this? So,
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
Yeah.
A lesser podcast contributor, I'll call myself. A more uncaring one, a more amateurish one.
Yeah.
Would have gone for Asahi for this.
Yeah, it's freely available.
It's available.
It's right there.
It's Japanese.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
No,
this is serious business.
Uh-huh.
Right. So I've tried to get something which captures at least some of the essence of this film.
Okay.
And because, as we know, despite actually liking every single one you drink, you don't like dark beers.
Oh, I don't like dark beers, no.
There's also an element of you having to confront something which perhaps you think you don't like and seeing whether you do in fact enjoy it. You can find anything there to enjoy.
Excellent, okay.
And I've based this more on name than anything else, and I've gone for Theakston's Old Peculiar, the legend.
Okay.
Because this is quite a peculiar film in many ways.
Not where I thought you were going to go with this, but what I didn't bring was a bottle opener, Carl. So.
We need a bottle opener. And because it's 3 for £6, we've got a bottle and a half each.
Oh, excellent. It's already started. So now we've moved on from no alcohol to non-alcoholic beer to just one beer to now 1.5 beers. So next week, roll on 2 beers each.
Well, it depends what's on offer, mate.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, Carl, are there any apologies or corrections, legal or otherwise, that we need to make before we move on?
I've got a clarification, and I guess with that comes an apology of sorts to you.
That's my favourite kind of apology.
Well, I'm going to sort of sandwich it between 2 insults. So
shit sandwich. No, apology. No, it's not a shit sandwich, is it?
No, what would they call that?
Yeah, it's the meat.
It's a great sandwich.
The meat is the apology. But it's covered. The bread is.
Yeah, the bread's not so good though.
Yeah, don't know. Anyway, go
on. So last week we were discussing Star Wars.
We were,
and I had pointed out that even the theme tune isn't as good as you remember, isn't as good as everyone says.
Yeah, and I found this odd.
And I think at first there was a little understanding because you were saying, what's the theme tunes? I'm going to say, no, that production of that version of the theme tune was shoddy rather than the actual theme. Like the theme tune is what everybody knows and loves. There's no doubt in that. It's a great theme. Anyway, I went back and I listened. I put on the version of episode 4 that I'd watched.
Yeah.
Thinking, did I overplay this a bit? No. Yeah, there's the drums and the awful mix drowning out the melody that I know's there because we all know it, but you can't really hear it on this version. I'm thinking, yeah, and some of these drum hits, they're not good. Then I watched episode 5. Didn't watch it, I just put the intro
the first bit on. Right.
Yeah. Completely different mix.
Right.
So they've I don't know whether they've re-recorded it or just remixed it, remastered it, I don't know. But completely different. You can hear everything, it's clearer.
But they would have fixed that when they did all the re-releases.
Now, I know you watched it on Disney.
I did.
So I then went to Disney Plus and I put episode 4 on, and that has the remixed version on. So you wouldn't have heard it.
So I'm worried about what version of this film you watched now. Then.
Right.
Did you watch the one without all the extra
CGI it turns out,
added?
No, because they basically had a few goes at remastering it through the years, right? And the CGI bits we discussed last year, and that was in the version. So it was the only difference was the music. So yeah, you wouldn't have known what I was going on about last week because you just wouldn't have.
You didn't just have like a minor stroke halfway through, and
no,
that's good.
I'm
relieved.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's.
But also, that's still very surprising that is a thing.
Well, no, because they remaster everything, don't they? Like sound and everything.
I know, but it's the score. You don't have to do that in one take. Like,
I think it's just like you were saying last week about it. 70s production values are not a very big budget for it, and that's just one of the areas where it showed up, and they sorted it out later.
Well, there you go.
So there we go.
Okay, right, here we go. Bottle opener in hand. There we go. This is where you open it and it spurts everywhere and go, ah!
A bit of ASMR there.
ASMR?
Yeah.
Go on.
No idea.
What? So you've just said
it's
something.
Usually,
you have no idea what it is.
It's usually a lot of, in fact, Japanese girls.
I've gone for the wrong glass here as well.
dressed up in questionable garments, whispering into microphones and tapping on them, whilst I assume a load of single men give them money.
What the hell's that got to do with opening a beer?
Yeah, it's rife on TikTok, mate.
It's another reason why I'm not going anywhere near that, and that's your domain. All right, shall we talk about the film?
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah, so I guess we should do our normal reminder of our rating system. So, simple 5-point scale. You really don't like it. You don't like it. You're ambivalent. You do like it. Well, you really like it. And I thought, I wonder what are you at, Carl? Where are you?
I like this film.
You're a like, and I'm a don't like. So a standard 2-point differential. There, 2 degrees of separation. Yeah, well, they say the minimum. You know, we might be scraping the barrel on a few episodes time, and we go like, well, you kind of like it. I like it, but not quite as much as you.
Yeah. It's the minimum until we either run out of genuine disagreements or start making opinions. Yeah.
You haven't started making up opinions yet.
No. I'm afraid this is what I actually think. All of it. In all its nonsense.
All right, so lead us off, Carl. What do you like about Spirited Away? Hayao Miyazaki's 2001 animated fantasy.
Well, this is still a kids' film, right? The director talks about how there was a bit of a hole in his studio's filmography in terms of target audience, like they'd made films for certain demographics, and this one he cited, we hadn't done one yet for young girls, sort of going through that coming of age bit. So it's still a kids' film. I like it because, I like a lot of kids' films, obviously having young children myself and having been one.
You've been a child in your past, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I watch a lot of them. But I think this is one of those that just manages to have a bit more substance than a lot of them. I watched a good old chunk of this with my eldest before I had to send her to bed. And she was pretty captivated by it and wants to watch it again, which is obviously job one, where a kids' film is concerned. Yep. It got her asking some questions and thinking about why people and things were behaving the way they were. And I also think that holds up for adults as well. I think that an adult can quite easily sit down and watch this and go through a similar sort of journey with it. And actually on that, I've consumed it, or I guess noticed things differently this second time around. The first time I watched it was maybe like 10, 12 years ago. Yeah.
Bit more surface level on the first watch, would you say?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Whereas I think this time, there's a reasonable amount here. So I like it for being, I guess, a kids' film with a bit more substance, I would say.
Yeah, fair. So I don't like this film, but it really upsets me that I don't like this film. In that I really wanted to like this film, and I generally really want to like all of Hayao Miyazaki's films, because they're the sort of films that I feel like I should like, and I just couldn't get there. Mm-hmm. It was another one of those where, when we were deciding these films we're doing for the podcast, we're kind of going off our opinions from when we maybe first watched them, if we've not seen them. I was like, again, a good 5, 6, 7 years ago that I saw it, and I was like, maybe I'll like it. And the next one, I was like, no, didn't, which is good, because means we get to actually talk about it and not have to find another one to watch. But
we've not had that yet, have we? Where
no, not yet.
We can't discuss this.
We can't do this one. Loved it, mate. Turns out I really like this film, and you like it, so that doesn't work. Damn. But there is a lot that I do like about it, which we will obviously cover. But it comes down to the core bit that it failed to connect with me, or I failed to connect with it. And as a result, I had quite a detached viewing experience where I did actually struggle to see the broad appeal that it has over other movies of a similar style, and some of Miyazaki's other ones as well. And that was really hit home when I looked at reviews afterwards. I was like, oh my God, everyone loves this film. Like, really loves it, and for reasons that I can kind of see, but I just didn't have that experience with it. So I've got a feeling we're going to be going through this. You're going to say a lot of things. I'm going to agree with them, but I'm still going to come back with. But I just didn't.
Yeah.
But hey,
Well,
we'll see.
Let's see.
Okay, let's kick things off with the cast. And this is the first time that we've done an animated film. And an animated film in a foreign language. So how are we going to do this then? Difficult one. I guess starting off, Carl, what version did you watch?
Yeah, good question. That's where we should start off. So I watched the English dubbed version. I started off watching the Japanese version with English subtitles.
Yep.
But then I remembered that you didn't have access to that version. So I switched it up. But I did keep the English subtitles on, which were subtitling the Japanese speech rather than the English.
Different,
audio.
right?
So there were a couple of differences.
Yeah. So yeah, I did watch the what was that? Oh right, okay. It sounded like a child laughing. That was really disturbing. No, I don't like it. I don't look. It's between your legs, and it sounds weird. What was I talking about? Right. So it turns out I did actually have access to both versions.
Oh, for God's sake! So what version did you watch?
So I did watch because I'd said we would watch the American English dub version. I did watch that.
Did you have subtitles on as well?
No, but I did regret it a little bit because. I mean, I imagine that the girl is irritating in Japanese to start with in the Swedish voice. God, she's irritating in American though.
This is one of my problems with kids' films in general.
Children in it.
Yeah, because obviously you've got children and they've got high voices, and nearly all your kids' films have some level of like threat and jeopardy in them as well. So I do find modern day Disney films are much worse for this. It can just be a constant drone of whining.
Yeah.
And if you just zone out just a little bit, like, you're watching with the kids, maybe you're half doing something else, you just, what is this
noise,
shit?
noise.
What is this? So I can completely sympathise with your point on that.
So I guess for the cast, shall we talk about the characters themselves rather than the Japanese or American voice cast?
Yeah, this would have been something great to agree on beforehand, wouldn't it? Rather than just hitting me with it now, but we can do that.
I mean, what had you done?
Nothing.
Okay, cool.
My notes were Swift section today.
Yeah, I mean, our format does rather fall down with a foreign language animated film. But, it's good to learn, 8 episodes in, so that's good.
Well, I did think about, because obviously I'm not familiar with any of the Japanese voice actors. I looked up, I wasn't familiar with any of the English voice actors
Oh, but you were.
Okay, go on.
So, Chihiro, dubbed voice, same actress who did Lilo in Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, not seen it.
Haven't?
I've seen bits of it, but not seen it.
She also plays the freaky girl in The Ring.
No, not seen that.
No?
No.
Okay, fine. Plays Donnie Darko's sister in Donnie Darko.
I've seen that.
You have seen Donnie Darko?
Yeah, long time ago.
Hold on.
Long time ago.
You have seen Donnie Darko?
Yeah.
Because I definitely quoted you a few weeks ago a Donnie Darko line, and you gave me a very much a, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, God, I don't remember it. All I remember is that in the plane crash, and there's some scary rabbit.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm out.
But you didn't remember the sparkle motion line, which...
No, I still don't.
But you like Donnie Darko?
No, I don't know. I can't remember it.
Oh, could be a potential future
one.
Yeah,
could be, yes.
Yeah. That formed a very important part of my university film education, I guess.
It must be shit then.
Yeah. I mean, so did Akira, Japanese animation, which I fell asleep at first time. The only time I've ever fallen asleep in the cinema. Jesus. Anyway, so Chihiro, what did you make of Chihiro as a character?
Well, I mean, she was the pretty much the only pure one in the thing. I mean, besides her voice, which I guess I was in it enough to not zone out and hear the whining. But I take your point.
Only right at the start.
Besides the voice, I don't imagine anybody could possibly have anything bad to say about Chihiro. But off you go.
No, I mean not really, not really bad. She's an annoying whining child to begin with, but it's kind of like the a bit of a journey that
Yeah.
it's meant to go on, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of meant to be an annoying whining child. So, nailed it.
Yeah.
Well done.
Good.
Let's not go through all of the characters and tell me what you thought. But when we're talking about the English language dubbing, you know who oversaw the English language dub of this one?
No.
John Lasseter from Pixar.
Oh, okay.
Head honcho Pixar.
Right.
Yeah. So, of course, did you notice the go-to Pixar person that was in there? Did you notice the voice that's always in every single Pixar film?
Nope.
John Ratzenberger?
Who does he play?
What?
In Pixar films?
Oh, he's literally all of them. He's in so Toy Story. He is I think he's like the pig, the
Ham.
Ham.
Yeah, okay.
He's Ham in that.
Yeah. I know who you mean. Who did he play in this then?
I know some Japanese character, but you heard the voice and I was like, oh, is that him?
Okay.
And I checked, I was like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting anyway. John Lasseter overseeing. Looking, because you said about the different lines in the Japanese dub version the English dub version to the original Japanese with the subtitles. And so reading some of his explanation was just like, yeah, I felt like I needed to explain that it was a bathhouse because a non-Japanese audience would be like, what?
Yeah, what's a bathhouse? Yeah.
Why show me a brothel?
So, well, I mean, yeah. So I didn't have any notes for the cast because, like I say, not familiar enough with anything going on there. But I did have a recast note, and not one I'd do, but one that they did, just to segue on from what you've just said.
Okay.
And I said it was interesting how this is coming from having watched like the first 5 minutes of it in Japanese, and then interesting how much softer the parents were in English compared to the Japanese counterparts.
Really?
Because when she was like, "Come on, let's go," or whatever, the dad was very much like, "You are at tori no suru," which does mean something. I googled it.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, not the way I said it, but it was very much that. I didn't just want to go for like, you know, when you do like a generic Japanese like voice when you're like trying to parody something. I didn't just want to just make noises.
Oh, I see what you mean. You actually used words.
I tried to, you know.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you did still do a
upsetting
generic Japanese
Well,
accent.
I mean, it's debatable, but upsetting swathes of people on Mass is Your Department.
It'll come.
Whereas, when they did it in the American voices, they were very much like, "Come on, guys, let's go check it out," or whatever. a lot softer.
Shut the fuck up, Chihiro. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So they felt the need for a recast anyway, even if we don't.
So the question I had for you on this, as you know, can't really do it with, was which character did you associate most with of all the spirits and all of the characters? Anyone you're like, that's my guy?
Lynn, probably.
Why Lynn?
Well, she was the one that, I mean, she was still a bit flawed in that she was.
Is that why you associate? Because you're just a bit flawed.
Who I associated with?
Yes.
Oh God, none of them. I don't know. No.
Radish spirit.
The what? Sorry.
Radish spirit.
No. Which one was he?
The guy who just.
Oh, no, he helps
Trying to
her.
get in the lift.
No, he helps her.
Oh yeah, that's not you.
Yeah, no. I mean, who was the grumpiest one? Just like, I haven't got time for this shit. Who would that be?
Whoever it is, it's that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I quite like Kamaji. So the boiler room dude.
Oh, yeah,
multiple arms.
Yeah, probably him, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I thought it was like trying to do too much, trying to do multiple things at once. You know, it's definitely sometimes how I feel, you know, and then someone comes along, puts one bit of coal in the fire and wants a reward, and you're like...
Yeah, almost as if this literally is what the film's about.
Yeah, exactly. Hilarious thing is that me saying that, Emma's going to listen to this, right? And she'll be like, sorry, you do everything, and other people look for what... I mean, it's literally my life. Like, I literally do everything. You do one thing, you're like... You want a pat on the head for doing the washing up once. Come on.
You do like them pats, then?
I do. Pat my head. So, any more recasting then, apart from... So, Kurt Russell's not getting in there?
No, I mean, Emily Blunt's a given.
Sure. Where would Emily Blunt go?
Oh, Chihiro, obviously. I mean, maybe Lynn.
Yeah, I think more Lynn, right? Surely.
Yeah, but I mean, Chihiro's the star, isn't she? I'm quite honestly fed up of Emily Blunt having to take the back seat while all these other charlatans steal the limelight.
Time to lead.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving swiftly on from the cast, which was a complete washout, to the production, which again, for an animation, what are we going to do here then?
Yeah, it's weird though, isn't it? A very different style of animation, I would say.
I mean, I think the animation style is pretty cool. It's one of the reasons why I really want to like this film is that there's a lot to look at. There's a lot going on, very detailed, beautiful to look at. The amount of detail that you can get in there, and obviously animation lends itself to be able to do things that you can't do in live action.
Well,
and Miyazaki does obviously take advantage of that with some of the settings and the characters. But yeah, it's what's your initial thought?
I mean, yeah, but it's worth pointing out it is hand drawn. This,
Sure.
But a lot of them aren't these days. So even if you are not going down the Disney Pixar route, right, of the CGI, there are still like shortcuts that you can take when producing what we would consider a traditional cartoon. I don't know if this is true of all these films. It was certainly true of this one. So it took an incredibly long time to create because they're hand drawing every frame and all the rest of it. So, it's weird, I think, because like you said there, you can do some really detailed stuff. Some of it's really detailed.
Yeah, some of it.
But then some of it's like completely flat. And it's, like the faces. The faces are like two tones, right? So you've no detail on the face. They put, obviously, the basic features in there, and they will put a shadow on, but that's it.
Yeah.
Two tones of face. And then expressions are done by just moving the eyes around and maybe putting one line on, which seems to be a common thing for that style of animation.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's strange. I mean, it works because I don't know whether this would work in the same way for someone who's used to seeing that style of animation, but it works because it's just another thing where you go, this is all a bit different. Yes. And a lot of it is supposed to feel different and surreal, right? So, yeah,
I think a lot of, it's weird is a fair description of it. I think some of it's was very effective, like, and you're like, oh, that's cool. Like the pig, the parents turning into the pigs, like it was quite a shocking thing. But I think, and then some of it not quite as effective for me in some of the. Seemed like it was just like weird stuff for being weird without having the impact on me. But yeah,
they go for a very different style for Yubaba. Did you spot the significance of that?
Giant head. That seemed pretty
big nose. Is the main thing, right?
The nose,
because she's also dressed more European, and the decor in her room is more European than the rest of the.
More consumerist, is it? Is that what they're going?
Yeah. So they're very deliberate in what they're doing with that style in certain bits.
What about the soundtrack? Score, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, it's another one of these where I have no strong feelings on it at all, but I tend to think that means it's been quite effective, right? If you're not noticing it. Because it just sort of just keeps you ticking along and it's delivering a certain feeling. I could
definitely listen to that score, just working away, just have it on in the background. Pretty nice to listen to. It's something I'd noticed as I was listening to it. I was like, oh, this is good.
I generally just don't have a lot to say on the production because it's not the sort of film I watch at all. I'm not very familiar with it. All I can say about it is it looks weird and surreal, and I think that's working for the story and the way it's trying to tell that story.
Following on from talking about Apocalypse Now a couple of weeks ago, where
this should be good. How are we going to get to
we called out Coppola's like making up as he goes along thing, right? So Miyazaki very, very similar in that. Like, he'll
Really?
kind of storyboard it out a bit, but he says like, oh yeah, no, the
Oh,
story
wow.
just takes me in the direction that it goes, kind of makes it up a bit on the fly. I don't know how that works when you're in an animation.
I guess in his mind he's still got set pieces in mind, though, right? Because he's patching in the different spirits at different times.
Yeah.
So it's more a question of, well, where do I slot these? And we've got to get from this one to this one. So
yeah. Thought it was interesting how you could do that. Not just like.
That's probably why it took so bloody long to make.
Yeah, quite possibly.
There was a team of artists just stood around going, well,
come on, mate, come on. Pencil's ready. I've got my 2B.
2B.
That's a pencil type?
Yeah, it's a pencil type,
There we go. Don't get me to name another one.
That's your go-to shading pencil, is that?
Well, there you go. Yeah. See, that's pretty much bang on then, right?
Yeah, if you were...
Sound like an artist.
If you were poor, rather than telling you to get the full set, they'd say, just get HP and a 2B, for God's sake.
Oh, memories. Would there be anything you'd change from the production?
I just do not know enough.
Brilliant. So we've got the cast nothing and the production nothing.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I hope you got something to say about the plot.
Yeah, we'll talk about the plot.
This could be cracked.
What about you? Would you change anything from the production?
Well, Carl, as you know.
Now the thing is, I like this film, so it's not on me to suggest what changes are needed.
Oh right, okay. I've got to host it and I've got to come up with opinions. Is that how it works? Jeez.
Yeah.
So I've not got a lot that would change. So it did to me feel a little long in places. There were times where I was just like, oh, come on. But thinking back and actually going like, what would I?
What would you cut out? Yeah.
What would I cut? What would I shorten? I couldn't really.
It didn't feel long to me, I have to say. How long is it?
2 hours 10, 2 hours 5, 2 hours 10, something like that. So not. I mean,
Fine,
for an animation, it's longish, but it's the longest Miyazaki film,
right?
The Ghibli film that they did, but yeah, I don't know. I thought back and I was like, I can't actually think. And then I got to thinking again, and I was like, some of the quieter moments, like the sitting on a train, the boarding of the train is taken. Actually, it's kind of quite nice to have a little quiet.
I was going to say, you moan like fuck, there weren't any of those in Tenet.
Yeah. Slow down.
Yeah.
I need to catch up. I'd say, just meeting with the inconsistency. Yeah. I'm consistently inconsistent. So there we go. But yeah, that's all I've got on production. Okay, let's move on to the plot. I hope you got something to say about this. We're in serious danger of this coming in underneath an hour, and I just don't know what happened. People might actually listen to the end of it.
No.
What happened?
No. Doubtful.
So go on. Tell me what you liked about the plot. What was some of the things that stood out to you?
Yeah. So I watched this, like I said, maybe 10, 12 years ago. And I watched this because a friend of mine said it was really good. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I think it was something like the fourth highest grossing film ever, or something ridiculous like that. It was the highest grossed animated film. And much like you said in your opening gambit, it feels like the sort of film you should watch.
Right, yeah.
If you're trying to, break out just a little bit and try find your own taste and everything. And actually, I think, if you want to be cynical about it, you can flip that round and you can say, this is also why it gets the amount of praise that it does.
Yeah. It's very much the Shawshank Redemption of
people feel it should be good. Therefore, we're going to say, it's got a bit more going on with it. People could have those opinions. That's fine. I like this film. But the first time I watched it, I took it pretty much at face value, and my memory of this was a young girl losing her parents. So I was actually a little worried about this time around.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was thinking, this is going to be awful. There's no way. Even if I think it's good, I go, no, I'm never watching that again. This time I didn't get any of that. I mean, obviously that's there.
Yeah.
But this time I was quite pleasantly surprised I know that there's a coming of age theme to it all the way through. But I was actually really intrigued by all of the examinations of the social themes and whatnot.
Consumerism.
So, consumerism, capitalism. You've even got some climate change or pollution commentary. There's a bit of prejudice in there.
I'm not a big one for allegory.
You are not.
I mean, I wasn't even aware of what that word meant until a few episodes ago. So I recognised some.
Well, I mean,
the
the capitalism consumerism bit could not be clearer unless they turned round and said, and in fact, in the bit where they're chanting about something about his ass is bigger to kiss, he's really rich, they pretty much do say exactly that. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's not subtle.
No, which
is why I got it. I managed to write the word allegory down.
Look at you, you've grown.
I'm growing. As long as they pretty much spell it out.
Yes.
That's fine.
In a children's film.
Does it count as allegory if they spell it out?
I don't know, mate. I don't know when you should really use allegory and when you should use metaphor.
I'm going to go for too much is how I'm going to use allegory.
That's
over
what you do with
again.
words, yeah.
Just keep using it. It's a new word.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it out.
You've got to have fun with them, haven't you?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I mean, there was a bit on identity, taking your name, remembering who you are, and
that's kind of interesting that you talk about that as identity, because I again just took that as more of a scathing criticism of the capitalist system and how it strips people of their identity, and
Either way. But yeah, the consumerism part, starting straight out the bat with the parents turning into pigs and
greed is all consuming.
One of my favourite lines in it, which again I'm gonna start using these, is "Don't worry, you've got Daddy with you. He's got credit cards and cash."
yeah.
So,
I can't remember what the.
I don't ever have cash though, so I can't really use it.
Well, this was 2001, wasn't it? So
yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember what the Japanese line there was, but it wasn't that. No, it was something along those lines, but it wasn't quite as brashly American as that.
I've got a question on plot. So there's a seemingly somewhat throwaway line, right, where Kamaji, the multi-handed dude previously mentioned, says to Lin that Sen is his granddaughter, or that Sen is his granddaughter.
Now you're going to ask me questions about the mythology and lore that surround all of these spirits, and that is
no. I was just like, Lin acts really surprised in the American dubbed version, and it's never mentioned again. I was like, is that important? Is that a thing? Is that,
I think are these not all tied into? No, I don't think it's that. Are these not all tied into her upbringing in some way? Because in that sort of mythology, they were already part of her life in different forms or whatever. Because she says the same about what's the dragon guy's name? Haku.
Yeah.
She says the same about him. Like, well, I already know who he is because she saw him in a river when she was a kid or whatever.
Right. Okay.
But in his dragon form and all the rest of it. And I think it's just more of that. I think you need to understand more about what those spirits are and the mythology around them. Which again, I don't know. So that sort of stuff is lost on me as well, to be honest.
Yeah, it was just that thing. I was like, oh shit, did I miss something here? And then it wasn't mentioned again. I was just like, is it important?
I did read that Sen is even linked to Chihiro as a name. So there's a reason that she called her Sen.
It's part of like you can make Sen from Chihiro, and it means 1 in 1,000 or something. And she
which is
Sen when she gets a job, and
which I mean 1 of 1,000, very appropriate again for becoming a wage slave essentially.
Yep. Other question for you: set in a bathhouse.
Yep.
Culturally insensitive moment. Is it a brothel for spirits?
I think it's just a brothel, mate. I don't know. Yeah? I don't know about for spirits. Yeah,
is that what a bathhouse is?
So a bathhouse were traditionally, and I could get this really wrong, right? But from bits and pieces that I picked up, they're men-only spaces, bathhouses.
Okay.
Right. And I think that is where you would go to, get yourself sorted out.
Endings.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of swallowing going on.
So
Just throw it out there.
Hell of a deep throat on that bloke, I tell you.
Yeah. So, get what you pay for.
Yeah. So I think there were men in spaces, and actually that would be an interesting point to discuss if we were more clued up on the culture side of all this.
We need a Japanese correspondent to come in
we do.
help us out.
Because they obviously make no bones about taking all the negatives of this these Western influences that are trying to mesh with the imperialistic Japan, right? The bathhouse and all the rest of it. And they're happy to show that in all its negativity. But they never touch on, well, but the bathhouse is essentially this, like, that's not a very progressive place. That's not, like, there's lots of, doesn't exactly scream freedom.
No.
So they're a bit almost hypocritical with that, I think.
And it leads me to the obvious question, Carl. You much of a bath man?
I like a bath over a shower,
Do
yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Surprises me.
No, it's much more relaxing.
Yeah? Sitting in your own filth.
How dirty do you think I am? I don't answer that.
Should I be honest?
Are you a shower man?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. The bath's a bit too tantric for me. You've really got to wait.
Tantric.
Oh, you've got to I like the instant gratification of getting in the shower and getting clean. The bath is a process. I've barely got time to fit in a shower into my day.
The Japanese would shower first before they get in a bath anyway. So they say that
water footprint or whatever it's.
We say that we bathe to get clean. They would say you get clean to bathe. So shower first before you bathe.
I could probably get a bit more on board with the bath if someone else ran it for me. And all I had to do was.
Is this Emma again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, another job on my list.
Do you need her to pat you on the head as you get in?
Yeah. That'd be nice. You're listening. Note these down. Birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
It's like 3 months. So yeah, bath, showers, yes. So I've got distracted, but my mind's gone to my future of baths being run, ready for me to hop into.
It's not even asking for blowjobs anymore, just baths, please.
Just a bath. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, so you have a bath more than you have a shower.
No, definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
So how long does it take to run a bath though?
Like 10 minutes.
Oh, that's a long time, isn't it?
I don't watch it.
Do you get the temperature right every time, or do you have to like?
Oh no, God no! You run it way too hot, and then you spend the first 10-15 minutes fucking about trying to gingerly get in, and then run some cold in.
We've had a bath in our house. Like, we basically put it in because we're gonna have a kid, right? You need a bath for a kid.
Yeah.
He doesn't use a bath. I
Oh,
don't
really?
use a bath.
You cannot get hours out of the bath.
It barely get him in the shower. Like trying to get him in that fully submerged in water to get clean. Jeez, no chance.
So my wife also likes a bath and cannot get any peace because the minute she gets in the bath,
kids
with the
join.
Yeah, the kids just go stand there. Like, can I get in?
And then you're
no,
like, you step 1 foot in. She's like, no.
So yeah, you can't get us out of the bath.
But like, I'm a fairly tall person as well, and baths just don't really.
Yes,
they're not really the most relaxing place because you can't get it then deep enough to actually cover. You've always got something cold hanging out.
I do agree with that. Yeah, there is a design flaw.
Yeah. Unless you get a very, very deep, very big bath, and then I'm on a meter. It's going to cost some money.
Right, hang on a minute. So this is why you're a shower man. In and out, 4 minutes.
I'm sure a shower uses loads of water anyway. Like I'm sure it's probably not any different. But yeah. I learn something new about you every show, Carl.
This was a surprising one for me, I have to say. I didn't think I'd be giving out that information.
So, what else do you like about the plot then?
Honestly, it's difficult.
You really don't have anything to say.
No, it is. It is difficult. We're going to come on to this one. We have to do the best scenes and best quotes as well. I didn't think this was long. I thought the production was quite good. As we know, no thoughts on the cast. Thought the production was quite good because it works. It was also real and everything. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Sort of. It doesn't really get into any of them really, really deeply. But I enjoyed just sort of floating all those themes out there. Oh, that's quite good. And like I say, it works. And I enjoyed the bits where my daughter was watching her, it sort of triggering her to ask some questions. Oh, that's good. But honestly, I don't have really strong feelings on it.
Okay, you just liked it.
I just liked it. Yeah, I didn't find it long. It just rattled along, and I thought, oh yeah, that's quite good.
So some things I particularly like the whole scene in the boiler room with the little sooty things like carrying the coal. Cute as a button. Brilliant. Brilliant then when he gets squashed and then they all pretend that it's too heavy so that she helps them out. Brilliant. The baby that gets turned into a mouse, right? Or rat, mouse? Some sort of rodent.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bird thing carrying it around. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Great, good value. Really good value. Funny. Probably says other stuff deeper than that as well.
No, you're right about the sort of things, then pretending. Wasn't there a little sarky line in there from Lynn as well at some point in that scene that was quite funny? I forget what it is now, but that whole scene was quite good. I have to say.
The bits that didn't really land with me was like the bit where they start going like, that's true love. That's love. It was just like, what? Me? What? Yeah. Is that a thing? Is that what? But that seemed to come from nowhere. It didn't seem like particularly earned. Went from like bad Haku being keeping me here and working for I should have wrote these character names down.
Well, I think that's
Zanuba.
No, you
tell me out here.
This begins with a Y, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is it
Yubaba?
Yubaba, that's
there.
it.
We go.
The sister begins with a Z.
Yeah, that's why I was getting confused. Working for Yubaba, and then it's just like, no, he's good. Oh, it's true love. Oh, that's interesting.
She never thinks he's bad, though. But
no, true.
This is Chihiro being that pure soul because she doesn't want anything from anybody else. She doesn't see people as good and bad. It's not a binary thing. Or I suppose rather, she does see people as good and bad. She doesn't see people as good or bad. It's not a binary thing. And so even if these people are doing, some not great things, she recognises that they're not all bad, and she wants to help she works to help to free several of the spirits. She said she recognised Haku, and so she knew, he was good anyway, and that he was, trapped in some way. Which again, you can take to be a commentary on trapped by the system and what it does to people, yada yada yada. So I think I take your point. Clumsy as those lines are, it's just reinforcing.
And again, they could have been
Chihiro is this.
Could have been clumsier in the American than they could have in the original Japanese as well.
It's reinforcing what a pure soul Chihiro is, and the method, the message that she is this. It is all about that for her. She doesn't want anything from anyone else. Like she won't take any of the money.
So you're telling me it wasn't sexual? That's what you're trying to say.
Was she like 10 or 11? I mean, going back to the ASMR and the questionable costumes some of these young girls wear.
Just checking. Other thing I noticed, not really to do with the plot, but at Zeniba's house, the good twin.
The good sister.
The jumping lamp thing with a hand. Very Pixar-y thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was just like,
Actually,
a little nod? Was it just a coincidence?
No, you've mentioned it, actually. I should say the film was I said the film was a bit hypocritical earlier because it doesn't show the good side of that sort of westernisation. I guess in The Other Sister, they are there literally showing two sides of the same character, even if they don't actually extol any of the virtues of the, political ideals and whatnot. But that was very Pixar. Good spot.
Yeah. You got anything else about the plot you wanted to particularly cover?
Not really.
I feel like we've not really talked much about the film.
No, not really. Honestly, that doesn't surprise me too much because, like I said, and we'll come on to this, I'm trying to pick my best scene. And I'm just like, it's all right.
Yeah.
I just quite liked it. I think I quite liked the sort of the ideas it was floating by me more than the thing itself. Maybe you could even say that. I don't know. It was fine, but no, nothing too deep from me this week, I'm afraid.
All right, let's wrap it up. This is very unlike you.
I know.
This is just like, there's strong feelings either way.
Would you like to me to manufacture some opinions?
I don't know. Well, I thought this was a character you were bringing on, even grumpier version of yourself, and now it's all, I don't know. It's very off-putting. Anyway, right. This is why you're wrong. So a closing statement from each of us. Would you like to go first, or would you like to go?
Well, I'll go first.
Second? Go for it.
Because, get the underwhelmingness out of the way. Prepared to be whelmed.
Yes. Always irritates me that whelmed isn't a thing.
Yeah, better be well. So I have touched on that I thought I might not like this.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going to find it uncomfortable. This time it surprised me, and I liked different things about it. But as we've established, you know, I don't think it's some masterpiece that you need to go shouting from the hilltops about. I essentially still think it's a kids' film, yeah? So those themes that it's introducing are probably pitched at the perfect level for children. And I think that's that's to its credit. But I couldn't sit here and say that like it is this amazing thing that everybody should see and all the rest of it, because I do think there is an element of truth to this is a bit more highbrow than your normal animated film, therefore we should all love it sort of thing. And so I think there's a little bit to that. But the only way I would say anybody would be wrong about this film, which I don't think is going to apply to you, is that it's certainly not about nothing. So I think if anybody were to... Like I couldn't say, if your opinion is to go, it didn't really land for me, I didn't enjoy that much, I thought it dragged... Fine, I can see all of that. I think if anyone were to say, but there's nothing going on, it's not about it, doesn't happen, I think that's wrong. I think that it is definitely about something. There are definitely things to take, and it's essentially just up to you if that works for you or not, and how much you want to go into it.
Yeah, but I think this is a bit of a weird one. It's the first time I think we've largely had the same opinion on this film.
Yeah, just fallen down slightly different sides.
Yeah, I've just gone kind of like, I didn't really like. I appreciated some of the good stuff. I didn't hate it in any way. Like, there's nothing really in it to really. I don't know. There's nothing in it to really dislike. It still just comes back to me that the fact that I didn't connect with it at an emotional level. Like reading reviews, people saying like, I was in tears. I was like, when this happened, I really cried. I was just like, I just wasn't even.
No,
I wasn't even close. I wasn't invested in it enough, and the characters didn't hit with me enough for me to get that. Whereas, I'll take it back to this was 2001. When did Pixar start really being a huge?
Well, around
thing?
that
Toy
time,
Story was like late 90s, wasn't it?
99, something like that, yeah.
And I think with Pixar coming and stuff, like you get that emotion. You do get some of that emotional hit. So it's not like this is like the first animation to go a bit deeper than surface. And there's obviously been a lot since then.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering whether this is maybe I don't know. I don't know enough about the anime films. I've seen a fair few, but whether this is deeper and more meaningful than your average kind of one, so it gets blown up out of maybe its proportion.
I think there's a degree of as well. We don't understand Japanese culture, right? And for them, from the bits I read about it, it is very, very much on the nose in terms of how Japan is changing and having to adapt and all the rest of it. And we can't appreciate that in the same way, I don't think.
Yeah, but equally, then there's a lot of people that aren't Japanese or familiar with Japanese culture that are equally going very, very, very positive one way or another. But it's difficult. Like, maybe I'm more on the ambivalent scale, based on actually trying to say why I didn't like it. Like, it's tough to actually say I didn't like it. I wouldn't.
We could meet in the middle here.
Yeah, we just were both ambivalent.
That'll be a first.
We didn't move each other's needles. We just moved our own.
Yeah, but we've both come down to ambivalent. We could.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get the huge thing. Exactly like you said. It's about something. Like there is stuff there. I get that and appreciate it, and I actually saw it, which is a bloody miracle. But yeah, I just didn't have that emotional engagement with it, and I wonder. I started watching it again after I finished, with just the Japanese and the subtitles.
Yeah.
That if I'd watched it,
you had an angry dad.
I think I might have come up much closer to just straight ambivalence straight away on watching without the American dub. Perhaps, I don't know. Maybe it's. I don't think it was a great voice dubbingness. But
no, we should have touched on that in the cast actually. or the production.
There's
Who knows? We're fucking
there's
idiots.
There's no big names. I know they've done some big names. Like I think Christian Bale's been involved in some of these before, and like other.
It's not big names because I've no
Good actors.
Yeah, like actual really good voice actors. I don't think you could say there were fantastic performances from the voice actors in this film in the American dub version.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah.
So there we go. So essentially, we've just given this a big.
Yeah. I mean, we're jumping ahead a little bit. I guess I am still. Yeah, I quite like it, and I'll probably rewatch it again. And I'm excited to watch it all with my eldest again.
What are you going to say? Watch it all. What? Did you stop halfway through? You've just formed an opinion on half a movie.
No, she can watch it all. I'll watch it with her.
Yeah, I think it kind of surprised me, right? So you say you watched it with your eldest. So I watched this on Netflix Kids because it was available on there. I
thought we didn't have Netflix. I thought this was why we didn't.
Quiet.
Okay. Is this something you forgot to cancel?
No. Just don't talk about it.
Right.
But yeah, from before I rewatched it, I was like, "Is this a kids' film?" I remember it being quite like some scary bits to this. Like, I'm not sure if it's
not that scary.
Proper, like, no, it's not. When I on rewatch, I'm just like, oh, actually, there's not really. There isn't a lot of like super scary, weird stuff going on, or anything along those lines. So, you know, as you said before, it's like it's
a kids' film. I think it's a kids'
film for kids.
And I'm going to enjoy repeatedly referencing when we do future episodes of the podcast. I'm going to enjoy the only way you can get to appreciate a metaphor and allegory is if it's in a kids' film.
Yeah,
I'm going to enjoy pitching your emotional level at that. Intellectual level as well.
Yeah. I think you might be bang on there. I'd love to prove you wrong.
No, I think
it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of mileage in this. So, if nothing else, this has given us this Spirited Away has given us that gift.
Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff.
All right, let's move on to the data section, which, as we get our database, Carl, up and running, will be good to see if there's any general trends and things as we go through. But at the moment, we're just going to continue to capture the ratings, the rewatchability, best scenes, and things such as that. So, firstly, get into the other people's ratings. So, unsurprisingly, based on its sort of universal acclaim, an 8.6 on IMDb, very high.
It is high.
Very high.
Yeah, I'd say it's a touch too high.
A 4.5 on Letterboxd, which is huge for a Letterboxd. Highest I've ever seen. I've never seen a higher than a 4.5.
Your problem is it just makes Letterboxd seem like the place for wankers, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, you did introduce it to me.
I know. This is the problem. Yeah, this is the problem.
I always had that feeling to begin with. But
yeah.
Hey-ho. Critics loved it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
All over it. 96 Metascore. Pretty much as high as you get, really. It won an Oscar.
What are doing for?
Best Animated Feature.
Oh, yeah.
At the 2003 Oscars. Only the second time that award was a thing.
Okay.
Do you know who won the first one?
So that'd be what, 2002? Oh, so this was 2003, was it?
It won the 2003 Oscar, yeah.
I thought this was 2001.
It was, but it won the 2003 Oscar, so maybe it was delayed.
Yeah, US release.
US?
Yeah. Okay. Right, so 2002, Monsters, Inc.?
No.
Not Shrek.
Yeah.
Shrek
won the first one.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I like Shrek, but
it was the first time that the award was a thing.
What else was in the running, do you know? For either of these years? Oh, this is great content. Look it up. Yeah.
So 2003 Oscar.
Yeah, that's right. Talk out loud.
Animated.
Point the mic at your keyboard so we can tap in.
That's helpful. It says Spirited Away.
Yeah,
great.
Click really loud. Make sure you click really loud.
Yeah, okay, click.
What are you doing now, Simon?
Just clicking again. It's not working.
What are you clicking on?
I don't know, some dodgy site by the looks of it.
No, this is the Oscars. No, you're right. You had it right the first time. Some fucking dodgy site.
Oscars.org. Maybe, I suppose that's probably right. Winners and nominees. Here we go. By category. Oh, it's going to be right at the bottom, isn't it? Oh, Jesus. It's going to go on for some time. Feature film, art direction, cinematography, costume.
Simon is scrolling the page.
Below costume design.
He's scrolling the page.
As if directing is below costume design. What's going on?
What do you mean below? You're
is it
applying some sort of value here.
It's alphabetical.
It's alphabetical, right? Fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
That means animated will be at the top. Oh, it's not. It's not in any kind of order. Sound editing, or is it visual effects, writing? This is fantastic.
I mean, you could have just
It's not
searched
there.
it.
Animated features, right at the top.
How's your own Peculiar, on the other hand?
It's all right, actually, yeah. It's, yeah. All right, here we go. Right, we're ready. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. This is well worth doing.
Go on.
Well worth. Okay, so Spirited Away, Beat Out, Ice Age.
Yeah, that's shite.
Yeah. It's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. Lilo and Stitch.
God forbid you have an opinion.
Which you've not seen. I quite like. I owned Ice Age on DVD. That it was like.
I've never heard anyone say. I mean, maybe they say this in the thing. I've never heard anyone say Lilo and Stitch. I always thought it was Lilo and Stitch.
Is it Lilo and Stitch?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, it is spelled Lilo. If you think of the
Lilo
inflatable.
No, I think you're right. I think it's Lilo and Stitch.
Big fan, yeah.
Lilo and Stitch, yeah.
Lilo and Stitch. Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch is good. No,
It's like Sean Bourne, Bean.
I think I've watched it, but it left no impression on me.
The filthy look you gave me earlier for having not seen Lilo and Stitch.
What? Just Lilo and Stitch. I just thought you got two girls that you would have watched it at some point.
Oh, they've watched it, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought you might have spent some time with them at some point in their last 9 years. Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron? What the hell is that?
It's about horse.
Oh, Jesus. Horses, don't get me started. Right, and Treasure Planet, never heard of it.
No.
So it wasn't up against a great...
What was Shrek up against? Maybe that was a better year.
Right, here we go, right. So now, I can just go back a year. Oh, this is much quicker. No. There we go. No, I pressed it twice.
Oh, right, never mind.
Lucky. No, it's fine. We've started, so we'll finish, and we won't edit any of this out.
Probably not.
Right, so it was right. No, wait, where is it? I did Control, animated.
Here we go.
Right, here we go. Shrek.
Yeah.
Beat Out. Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius.
Yeah.
Beat Out Monsters Inc. Shrek.
Yeah, well, I did say Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. is
You got the right year.
better.
That was it. There was
better
three.
than. Oh, there was only three.
It was the first award. They were like.
Maybe there just weren't that many of them being made
I guess
at that
there
time.
weren't, right? But that's kind of why
Well,
they
no, 'cause
started
that's
making
not-
it a thing, because there was more that came.
But that's not
started
like
to come out.
VFX ones. That could be any animated film. Loads of
Yeah,
animated films at that time, sure.
Yeah, but not loads a year.
feature
Right?
length.
You'd think.
Okay.
I don't know. They don't crack them out with a laptop like
Yeah.
you used to. Anyway, what the hell were we just talking about? Oh yeah, won an Oscar. Shrek won the first one. That was it. That was well worth it. Rewatchability. Oh no, your rating, Carl. What do you reckon your rating is on the old little Letterboxd?
So
thing?
as always, I've not
2.5.
reviewed it
2.5.
yet because I could have said things like, "Yeah, it's all right."
Yeah, I don't know how I would have countered that one.
No, I think I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay.
Because I do like that it has some substance to it. Not deep enough for me to wax lyrical about, but yeah, 3.5. What about you?
I think originally on IMDb I rated it 6, which I have normalised a little bit because I'm incredibly over-generous with my IMDb ratings.
Oh, wow.
Hence why it came up in the old
Yeah.
don't like. I was like, what if it's a 6? Jeez, if I rated it a 6, I must have hated it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think on the Letterboxd and when I rescore it on IMDb, it's probably going to come down to I don't know, 2. It's just going to be like a 2, 2.5 thing kind of thing. So probably like a 5 out of 10. It's just it's there. I can appreciate
Fair
better
enough.
how it, but
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah. What about rewatchability? We kind of already touched on that.
Yeah, and I will rewatch it, I think. I definitely still liked it enough to think I'll watch it again, and I look forward to watching it with the eldest, not the youngest. I tell you now, she wouldn't give a fuck.
Couple of years, or you just
No,
not at all?
completely different personalities.
No, I think I might give it a watch with. We watched Howl's Moving Castle or Castle, depending on which day of the week.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I really like that. So
Never heard of it. What's it about?
it's a moving
Castle.
castle.
Yeah.
It's owned by Howl.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Right.
But we'll get on to that. But yeah, I might rewatch this similarly with Child, and also because I'm stubborn and I do actually want to like it and become one of the people.
You want
that
to be
really
one of those
appreciates it.
snobs.
Yeah. That's what I want to be, the snob.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing a film podcast. I'm halfway there.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
But yeah, best scene.
Yeah, so like, genuinely, this isn't me. You know me, mate. I'm a pro. I do my homework, right? And I don't want this to come across like I've just completely phoned it in for this episode, because that's not the case.
There was no bar scene, so you're like, oh, I don't care.
Well, maybe that was the problem. I couldn't pick a best scene, and I even looked up. I had the same problem with Quote. I looked up what are other people's best scenes, and again, I'm just really struggling to go, yes, that was amazing. Like any more than the next.
Yeah.
The last. It's not because
you just liked everything.
Yeah, it's just like, yes, it's all fine. I mean, I will say, you mentioned it, that there was quite funny in the what's it called? With the
Yeah. In the boiler room.
Yeah, the boiler room. That's
Yeah.
it. In the boiler room, that was quite funny. So yeah, probably that. And he was quite a good character as well.
Yeah, Kamaji. Yeah, he was my favourite one.
Yeah, so probably that scene if pushed. But honestly, it's all a bit of a level.
My favourite scene was when she saves the water spirit, pulls out the what turns out to be like a bike handle.
Oh, the stink spirit.
Stink spirit, but it turns out to be
it's a river spirit.
The thing. Only because I was just like, I'll agree!
I get it.
It's about pollution and environmental impact of yeah.
The nice thing is, at the same time, my eldest was making exactly the same connection.
Yeah.
So you're on the
nailed it.
She's 9.
Yeah. She's a smart 9-year-old. So best quote, you said you struggled.
Yeah, I struggled. I mean, it's very, 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 very on the nose, but the chanting they were doing about the rich guy.
Yeah.
Something
arse getting fat and
like more for you to kiss and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you?
It's Kamaji again. I like a lot of the multi-armed dude.
Yeah.
And he just goes, "Finish what you started, human." Which again, I just gonna use that.
Yeah.
Favorite character? Mine's Kamaji.
Kamaji's good shout. I did like Lynn, but I honestly found it hard to say. Well, if I like Lynn because she had lots of good in her, why would I not like Chihiro the most? Because she pretty much has only good in her. So I have to go with Chihiro.
The main character, cool.
Yeah.
So I would think Kamaji.
Really searing analysis here.
I'll tell you what, if ever we do another one of these, right, and I'm the person who likes this film, and I come up with the level of stuff you've got in this, you would tear me a new one. You would be absolutely, you like this film, because you don't really sound like you like this film. You kind of sound a bit like, no, really, you don't really come up with a lot of things, so really. Anyway, I like Kamaji. Because he's all about love. He's like the Japanese multi-arm mustachioed Richard Curtis.
Yeah, he's got a few of the same problems as well.
Go on.
What, he just thinks like women are pieces to be pushed around the board that work for him. Yeah, know your place, all of that. Yeah.
And the other character was the radish spirit.
At one point, I believe. He qualifies her as less than soot. I don't need you, I've got loads of soot. Yeah, sounds exactly like Richard Curtis, mate.
Tearjerker, Carl?
No,
not for me either.
I did think it was going to be, and that would be a reason I didn't like it. But no, it's not. It's just not at that level.
No, exactly. I did want to engage with that level at the level, but I just couldn't.
No.
Any Couture just nudity in this kid's film?
No.
Nope.
Imagine if there was.
Oh, God. I mean, was the radish spirit wearing anything?
No, but he's not real. That's like looking at the Care Bears and going, bloody hell. These aren't shy, are they? These lot. Don't stick that out, point that thing at me. What are you doing?
All right, so top 3 films from Miyazaki.
Why did I say the Care Bears? Where's that come from?
I don't know, man. That's proper 80s, isn't it? Care Bears? Late 80s?
Fuck knows.
Did you used to have a Care Bear?
Well, maybe. We used to watch the Care Bears as kids.
Yeah, like cartoony thing.
Yeah. Fun memory. We should watch that. I'll see if I can get the kids into that.
That'll be the first episode we do live, where a live watching of Care Bears the movie. All right, so top 3 films of Miyazaki. So how much Miyazaki have you watched, Carl?
Well, so when you messaged me about this, and you said if you watched enough Miyazaki to do the top 3 to his filmography,
you were like...
I was, oh God, yeah, loads, because I thought you were joking.
Really? When you said it, I was like, I'm not sure if he's being serious, but he seems confident, so we'll go with it.
I've not seen a single one. I was even surprised to learn that The Boy and the Heron, which is popular right now, popped up on my Letterboxd feed a couple of times. That's Miyazaki.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's
You not watched it though?
No, I've not watched it. No, not watched it.
And didn't fancy watching any of your 18 films you watched this week, another Miyazaki, just so you could maybe do a bit of a contrast.
Well, after this, I had to watch Roadhouse, didn't I? After you said,
it's my own fault, really. Okay, well. I have watched a few, right? So I liked My Neighbor Totoro, or Totoro, I don't know, and Princess Mononoke more than I like this film.
When did you last watch these?
I watched them all. My Neighbor Totoro was quite recent. All of these I watched as part of the IMDb Top 100.
Yeah, you're going all out to make yourself seem interested, aren't you?
I mean,
really
literally, so I've said this before, I'll say it again. The IMDb Top 100 challenge of doing it's well worth doing because it does actually make you watch films. You're like, I would never watch this. And you watch it, you're like, actually, it's pretty good.
I agree with that.
Some of them, not so much. Some of them you go like, I would never watch this, and this is why.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
So yeah, I liked My Neighbor Totoro and Princess Mononoke more than this. Howl's Moving Castle, which we mentioned before.
Oh, that's one of his as well, is it?
Yeah, sticks in my mind more than Spirited Away, but I also didn't love that. It was very much a similar sort of thing, like lots of visual things. You're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. But did I like it?
Fair enough.
So equally difficult for me to do a top 3 because I've seen 4. But Spirited Away probably not in it. So,
ooh, no prisoners.
No. Okay, so our other one, I decided that it will be a non-Disney or Pixar animation. What have you got for us, Carl?
Well,
what are you doing, top 3?
I've got top 3, yeah.
Okay.
This is vast, though, isn't it?
There's loads, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because the reason, obviously, I cut out Pixar is I think it would probably swallow the top 3 with Pixar stuff. Stop touching things.
Just trying to move a wire.
So yeah, go on. What's in your top 3? You got an order?
Yeah, I think I've got an order. Yeah.
Go on.
Let me tell you what didn't make it first.
You just said this could be a really big section, so you're going to list every film.
No. When I said big, I mean like that task, animated films. That is a lot of films.
It is a lot of films.
A lot of films I've seen, a lot of films I've liked. I was going to ask you as well, do things like Wallace and Gromit count? You know, that sort of stop motion thing? It's not that different from actually hand drawn.
Yeah, I'd say it's allowed.
Because that was where I was going first. I was like, I love
Which
the
one?
Wallace and Gromit stuff. I mean, The Wrong Trousers is a great close shave. Honestly, the Curse of the Were-Rabbit's pretty good.
Are they considered a film?
They're feature
Close
length,
Shave.
yeah.
Is it feature length? Close Shave.
Yeah.
No,
Grand Day Out.
Grand Day Out's not. That's
Yeah.
right.
Please, I know my Hardman. Which leads us on to Chicken Run as well.
You do know your Hardman.
The Chicken Run's good. I did
Have
also.
you watched the new Chicken Run, by the way?
No,
me
I
neither.
haven't watched that yet.
I wasn't crying out for a Chicken Run sequel, I'll be honest. So I'm interested to see what it's going to be like. Yeah. Is Gibson in it?
I don't know. Is he in it again? I don't know.
know.
He was in the first one.
Yeah.
So I was sort of going down those roads. I thought about Shrek because I do like Shrek.
Of a time as well.
Say again?
It's of a time, it connected with me at that,
Yeah. The Lego movie as well. I thought that was pretty
put
funny.
that on my long list.
Trolls. I quite like Trolls as well. Yeah. The first one.
Of course. I mean,
and it was difficult. And then I realised, there's an easy way to just cut 80% of these out straight away.
Go on.
Because what do I like better than probably any other film?
Hentai.
Besides that, Christmas movies.
Okay.
So then I've got a much more manageable task of trying to pick 3. So Arthur Christmas is number 2.
Mm-hmm. Arthur Christmas, right, is one of those I watched the first time. I was like, shite. We watched it.
Yeah.
Better than
Loads in there for the adults.
Yeah.
Okay. After Christmas is number 2.
Okay.
Any...
You're starting at number 2?
No, you're starting at number 2. You said After Christmas,
okay.
not me. Yeah.
It's an interesting countdown.
Blame me for your fucking shite guessing. Great.
So animated Christmas films. The Grinch?
No, The Grinch doesn't make it. It's not massive on The Grinch.
Nightmare Before Christmas?
No, not interested.
Animated Christmas films? Nothing coming to mind. Father Christmas?
Nothing comes to mind. Father Christmas is my number 1.
I'd say half an hour long.
All right, it's not feature length. Well, that's fine because there was a near miss for the snowman. So I can bump the snowman up, which now puts Father Christmas
Again, not feature length.
as number 1. All right, okay. Then there was another near miss for the Polar Express, so I bumped that up, right? So the Polar Express now comes in at number 3.
The dead eyes of the Polar Express.
Right.
Tom Hanks' dead eyes.
Polar Express is number 3. Father Christmas is number 1, so you've just number 2 to get.
I thought Arthur Christmas was number 2.
Well, it was until you fucking just destroyed the list.
So what you've done here is you've taken the brief.
Right, well, I forgot about the feature length bit, okay. When I got excited thinking about Christmas films. Right.
So I can't think of another off the top of my head.
Arthur Christmas, number 1.
What other animated? No, go on.
Number 2 is Klaus.
Oh, yeah, Klaus is good. Yeah.
Great film, Klaus.
Yeah.
And then,
I should have got
Polar Express, number 3.
Yeah, I've seen that on your, scored very highly on your Letterboxd, so I should have got that one.
What about you?
All right. I'm going full wankiness. You ready?
Yeah, hang on. Just make sure you pause between each one so I can fucking eviscerate it.
You won't have seen any of them, that's the thing.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to make something up.
Okay, so I've got 2, right?
Oh, right.
Third one,
breaking the rules already.
No, well, the third one, what I was going to do is just go, I was seeing what you were going to say, and I'll just say something different.
Right, okay. Yeah,
So, does Who Framed Roger Rabbit count?
yeah. Yeah.
That's my number 3.
I think so.
Love
Okay.
that film.
Yeah.
Then I've got Grave of the Fireflies.
Never heard of it, you wanker.
Japanese animation.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Make you cry.
Yeah. You're so
then
cultured.
Another Japanese animation, right? Your Name.
Oh, never heard
You
of
should
it.
watch that. It's very good.
Is this you've recommended? Oh no, you recommended a couple of Bollywood films to me before.
Yes, Bollywood films. Again, part of the IMDb top 100. Well, a couple of them really worth watching. But yeah, so I wanted because people are going to listen to this and go, you don't like Spirited Away, you monster. You just don't like Japanese films. You know, like, no. See, I've got 2.
The thing is,
on my top 3
you don't have to worry about the
non-Pixar
Spirited
animated.
Away crowd because there'll be nothing left after the Star Wars crowd have got at you for calling Star Wars a B movie.
It's true, yeah. I mean, once that gets aired,
Yeah.
there'll be no more episodes full stop,
No.
will there? I'll be just being linked.
I'll do it with Emma. It's fine.
But yeah, a few honourable mentions. How to Train Your Dragon 2.
I've not seen it.
Have you not seen that? Jesus. A Nightmare Before Christmas, I'm a fan of. Shrek, I had, and then Lego Movie was
Yeah,
the
it's
sort of
funny,
rounding
Lego
out my
Movie.
sort of long list. It's very good, yeah, really good. But yeah, so Your Name, Grave of the Fireflies, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
All right.
All right, you got anything else for us, Carl?
No.
All right, well, that's all we've got. So if we moved the needle for you, or even if we didn't, please do get in touch with us by email at hello@mtnpod.com. We're also on Twitter and Instagram on MTN Movie Pod, and you can also find our page on Facebook. All the details in the show description. So from me and Carl, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
I think I'm going to pitch a crossover mashup between Saltburn and Spirited Away. There's something there with bathtubs,
Oh, for fuck's
plug
sake.
holes, the spirits, and the thing. I think it's got legs. I reckon there's some studio out there ready to take me up on that. What do you reckon?
Are you done?
Yeah.